Monster Hunter Wilds. Playing Monster Hunter makes you feel like you're at the zoo, except all the animals are outside of the zoo, and it's your job as zookeeper to bring them back in, forcefully. Monster Hunter Wilds is an adventure, hack and slash, fighting game, and once again Google gets an F because how is Monster Hunter Wilds not classified as an action RPG? I don't know. Monster Hunter Wilds was developed by Capcom. The story is this. You learn of a boy named Nada running away from a mysterious monster, while this man shoves Nada through a wall, thinking that the boulder will protect him. The man's name is Tashin! Sometime later, while on an expedition through the Forbidden Lands, Alma the handler spots an unconscious boy, Nada from before, lying there in the sand. You originally thought the Forbidden Lands were uninhabited and shocked to find someone.
I thought the Forbidden Lands were uninhabited, sir.
Now that you know you are wrong about the population and are determined to find Nada's people, you are set to go on a monster hunting spree uncovering the hidden secrets of these lands. Here's my hot take on the story though. Nada is an annoying kid who can't handle conflict, and most of the characters have no memorable qualities, really making the game feel like Nada cries or complains, Alma and crew care for the boy, Alma authorized hunts, and you the hunter go, I will solo this big monster, thanks, and that cycle repeats. How many times do you twirl into barrel bombs, killing the monster not even seeing your character blow up? Subscribe. Here are the menu settings. I'm going to pause through the menu settings and talk about a couple of things that I think you should change. Starting with mini-map rotation and mini-map angle, I prefer fixed. You can set your displays on the screen to be fixed at all times instead of dynamically minimizing them. You can also turn off ally effects if you have too many particles on the screen. Tell your Sacred to stop exploring. If you're in a hunt with a support hunter, I would recommend turning off the trap setting here so that they don't waste shock trap thresholds. Monster Hunter does support controller and keyboard. Here's another setting some people don't know about. You can put your focus mode to toggle so that you don't have to hold L2 the entire time. I would highly recommend changing your Sacred controls to Type 2. This makes it easier to control the Sacred in my opinion. Monster Hunter Wilds can be played on console and PC. Sorry, Mac. Camera zoom I would recommend maxing. This is the distance the camera is from your hunter. As you can see, there are a ton of settings. In textures, I would highly recommend downloading the high-res texture pack, which can be downloaded in the DLC menu. Would also recommend changing your feline language to the actual feline cat sound. The human voice sounds weird in my opinion. And as always, I prefer turning off motion blur and things like that. Point is, with this menu, take a second to go through all here. Monster Hunter does a lot of quality of life things in this menu, but some of them are hidden. Take your time, make it the right experience for you. The graphics for Monster Hunter are pretty good, except they have one glaring flaw. I don't know if it's because of how much foliage there is, or how many particles, or how many little tiny details that they put in. The performance of Monster Hunter and its optimization is trash. There are multiple areas that you'll traverse through where the frames will just drop. The spider bosses seem to be the worst. And here are the specs. Everything's pretty beefy, with the fun additional note that an SSD is required. And on to the gameplay. Here's what you can do in Monster Hunter Wilds. You can move around. You can move around on your Sacred. You can tame giant spiders. I'm just kidding, that's a large monster we're gonna hunt. You can fire a hook slinger. You can use your hook slinger to also get items. You can ready up your weapons and start fighting large monsters. There are 14 weapon sets in the game and each weapon has their own unique combos. We're not going to be going through all the weapons, but rest assured that each weapon has its own mechanic and playstyle. You can dodge or evade. Dual blades, however, have a perfect evade that power you up when you perform it. You can go into focus mode, which lets you spot the wounds more easily on an enemy, aim your attacks in a certain direction, and perform focus strikes, which breaks wounds and provides a big, powerful attack. The attack is unique to each class. Dual blades swings around like an anime character, doing the famous cartwheel attack. The wound mechanic is new in Monster Hunter Wilds. Breaking wounds will drop monster parts, and hitting wounds will do more damage. Another new thing in Monster Hunter Wilds is that you can carry 2 weapons with you into combat. Just call your sacred over and switch to your secondary. As always, you can mount monsters. While mounted, your job is to make wounds. The icon in the bottom left while you're mounted will show you the aggro of the enemy. Blue is you're in the clear, and yellow and red means the enemy is about to attack and drain your stamina. Once you run out of stamina or the time limit, you will be unmounted. And unlike myself here, you can also perform a finisher on the wound while you're mounted. I just failed. Sometimes other monsters come in to claim their territory, called the Turf War. It's always exciting, like you're playing the Skyrim first cutscene and a dragon just walks in. You can combine your sacred riding skills and your hook slinger to grab items while you're on the run. Wow, this spider is actually really unlucky. Is this the second dragon? This is just a better clip of grabbing items while you're on the sacred with the hook slinger. Here you can see we're grabbing 3 different items. You can also knock down environmental hazards like this dark hornet nest. You have 2 ways that you can use items in battle. You can open up this menu in the bottom right corner, cycle through and equip items and use them manually. You can also use the radio menu for quick shortcut use. You have a mini map in the bottom left of your corner while you're on the hunts. It's very useful because not only does it show the items and bugs and wildlife around, it'll also show a skull on the enemy when they are capturable. And of course, you can capture large monsters. Same way you always do, drop a trap, hit them with a couple trank bombs. You can still skip the timer cutscene, but you can also end quest immediately in Monster Hunter Wilds. After a hunt is done, you'll see all your rewards, monster parts, hunter rank, zenny, etc. As for other random things you can do in the field, you have your binoculars, you have a capture net, fishing is in this game, you can fast travel, and that's going to put us back at base camp. Yeah, a lot you can do in the field. Let's talk about the individual base camps and towns and what they provide. We're going to start with the most disappointing part of base camp. If you're an ex-Monster Hunter player, you're going to be looking for the palicos that cook food for food buff. They don't exist. In this game, you must use your portable barbecue grill to cook your meals. Once in a while, certain NPCs will offer you a meal, but this is the main way to cook. We miss the palicos. You have a tent, which gives you access to a whole bunch of stuff, such as managing your inventory. There are still inventory loadouts. This is the easy way to put items back in your item box. You can craft items, and yes, there is auto crafting in this game, so when you pick up those materials, those items will be crafted automatically. You can manage your equipment. You have your 2 weapons, your armor set, your talisman, and your mantle. Your equipment can hold decorations, which is like gems that add additional skills. You can mess with your palico. You can grill a meal from your tent in case you don't want to use your portable barbecue grill. You can do the quest board. You can change your background music. You can change your appearance. So a lot you can do in the tent. Gemma is the blacksmith in the game. This is where you're going to forge and upgrade weapons, armor, make talismans, forge artine weapons, which is endgame weapons. You can dismantle them. You can make palico equipment. You can manage your kinsects for the insect glaive. The upgrade tree looks exactly how it was in World and Rise. You just need the required materials and zenny. Sometimes you need a prereq item to be created, and the upgrade is just as easy as it always was. Click the box and click accept. For some reason, you can't skip the Gemma blacksmith cutscene. I hope everyone understands the joke there. You can skip this cutscene. The armor screens look pretty similar to past games as well. If you hover over the dot in the far left, you can actually preview the entire set, see all of its skills at the same time. Something new in this game is that armor sets can have their own set bonuses called group skills. And like past games, you have low and high rank equipment. You can upgrade these as well using armor spheres. You have the provision stockpile, which is like the store where you can buy items right to your item pouch or your item box. And you have the support desk, which can give you the latest news, DLC, claim content, your limited bounties. I did not see another place to get bounties. The small bounties that were in past games don't seem to be in Wilds. The limited bounties are the only ones that I've found. And you have the ingredient center, which gives you rations to use for cooking after every hunt. You do have your map that shows you everything in that environment. You can see the wildlife, you can see the large monsters, you can see their timer for how long they're going to be there for, their strength, the bonus rewards that they drop. If you go to the world map screen, you can see even more about the environment. On the right there, you'll see the current monsters that are there, along with their strength, item drops, and if you click into them using the details on the bottom left, you can see when they're going to be there. You can set and save them for investigation so you can do that hunt later. And if you have a side quest active, which is post-campaign, you'll see the side quest icon as a yellow star, and it'll show up when you hover over a place. I wish it was a little bit more obvious than that, but it is what it is. The red stars are main quest. Pop-up camps are camps that you can make that allow you to fast travel more easily. You can manage them at the support desk. The pop-up camps have a safety level, and the lower the safety level, the more frequently they will be destroyed. While destroyed, you cannot fast travel to them, and they are set on a timer to be rebuilt. In your options menu, you have things that are similar to the tent, like your inventory, your crafting list, your pouches, your radio menu, your equipment. You also have a login bonus once per day. You can see your missions and quests. This is a really useful menu to see which side quest you're on. You can send your SOS flares. You can see your map. The monster field guide is extremely useful because you can see what enemies are weak against. You can view your bounties, your palico. One of the most important things is customizing your hunter profile. You have your communication tab, which we'll get into in the multiplayer section. You have a recently viewed list, and you have your system settings. Of course, there's a photo mode. Another shop that you don't get access to until way later in the game is the melding pot. The melding pot lets you make decorations by sacrificing other decorations or tickets or other certain materials. So for instance here, I'm going to sacrifice 2 anti-blast jewels, 1 adapt jewel, and 1 hunger resistance jewel. I'm going to meld them all together to make...
I hope it suits your taste.
1 water attack. I'll take that. Pooji is back, the pet pig that you can pet later on in the game. You can also edit the name. Bad Pooji. You can do item trading with certain NPCs. These trade some pretty rare materials for other materials. Way later in the game, you'll get access to having people get items for you. You can talk to Nada to get them from everyone. Otherwise, you have to travel world by world talking to said person. Nada is also the liaison for item trading with everyone and lets you also collect festival shares. As usual with Monster Hunter, the multiplayer is kinda confusing. I'm gonna do my best to explain it as simply as possible. You can join a lobby, and a lobby is essentially just a place where hunters can gather. You can join a recommended lobby, you can search for your lobby based on friends or your squad, you can make a private lobby for your friends, or you can just join online without making a lobby. As you can see in the lobby, you can see other players, and what this allows you to do, when joining quests, you can look at lobby member quests, and you can join quests that come from your lobby. The other multiplayer aspect is called Link Party. While I was going through the story with my friends, Link Party was way easier to use. You can think of this like any other party system where you invite someone to a Link Party and that person will end up in your party. Link Parties are cool because when someone posts a quest or someone gets to a point in the story, it'll automatically send the Link Party an invite to join that hunt. Or, just like Lobby Quest, you can go to Alma and you can go to Link Member Quest. And this will show quests from linked party members. As for cosmetics in the game, you can readjust your character if you want. You also have your equipment appearance. Equipment appearance does a couple things for cosmetics. You can change out the piece that it looks like, you can turn on and off the model, and you can change the color. In order to reset your appearance, you just go back to the item and unselect it. I wish there was a default all. There might be, but I don't see it. And don't you worry, your cat also has cosmetics. Kind of looks weird without the helmet. And your sacred has cosmetics. Something that I forgot to mention earlier, when you have a quest active, your sacred can auto run, giving you perfect prime example to pick up all the items. For pay to win aspects, there is no pay to win in Monster Hunter, but however there are pretty expensive cosmetic DLCs. To recap, this Monster Hunter iteration has a lot of quality life improvements, which is really good. The combat and the flow of abilities feels fantastic. The graphics are pretty awesome when the frames are not dropping to complete shit. The story is pretty subpar, in my opinion, but overall, I've really enjoyed the time I've put into Monster Hunter. Playing co-op with friends is really fun, especially when you have a support friend. One of the bad things I did hear about is that console players DCing when they play crossplay. On our patent 0 to 1 scale, I'm gonna have to give Monster Hunter Wilds a 0.81 out of 1. I didn't dock it too much for the bad story because my expectation of the story of Monster Hunter has never been good. I never played Monster Hunter for the story, but the performance drops early on have been real awful, and the multiplayer aspect again is very confusing like it usually is. If you guys like these videos, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and you can bet your ass that we appreciate it. And with spring approaching, make sure to remember to place your pre-emergent down on your lawn so that the weeds don't overtake it.